Hello everybody, welcome to Review a Day episode number 91 for Sunday, November the 23rd, 2008. Hello everybody, welcome to Review a Day, the daily video blog where I review movies 7 days a week. My name is Leland Brunger and thank you very much for joining me. Whew, what a weekend it was, huh? You were there, it was crazy. I don't know what that means. But freaking Twilight raked in 70 million this weekend? That is ridiculous. That is a huge amount of money for November, for really any time of year. That movie's huge. I also wanted to quickly mention about Twilight. This is a minor spoiler about the very end of the movie. Doesn't spoil anything. But there's that shot of the girl standing there, and she turns around. It's this awkward ending to the film. Had they not put that in the film, I could have easily guessed there was going to be a sequel because they spend so much of that freaking movie alluding to things they weren't going to address until the sequel. So we didn't need that. It ended much better with the kiss on the neck, which was very so romantic. It's Twilight. I still don't really get it. So to kind of counteract Twilight, something really popular and over the top and dramatic, I'm going to talk about a documentary today called Helvetica. This is on the Netflix Watch Instantly, so if you got your Xbox 360 hooked up like I do, I've been doing nothing but watching Netflix recently. It's getting pretty bad, but you can watch this documentary, and it's called Helvetica. This film is directed by Gary Hustwit, I guess. And Helvetica is literally about the font Helvetica. It gets into much more, but this film really kind of looks at a profession and things we don't really ever notice. I've never really noticed fonts in my everyday life. Unless I'm writing a paper, I really never think about that. And one of the single most common font you will ever see is Helvetica. I watched this documentary and then I went to the grocery store, and as I was leaving it said, it's in these new letters, it says, "Thank you for shopping with us." And it was Helvetica. Helvetica is everywhere. This documentary shows you just how much it is. But it really gets really fascinating because it starts to kind of, it starts getting into the history of graphic design and stuff like that. And it starts in the 50s talking about a lot of the problems with the 50s advertising is that they had a million different fonts and it was hard to follow and hard to read. And so then in the 60s and the 70s, there was this backlash for a minimalistic, clean font. And Helvetica was formed. It was originally going to be called Helveticus, I believe, which means Switzerland or something like that. But then they changed to Helvetica, which means the font of the Swiss. This is a fascinating documentary, and it's so surprising because I love documentaries like this where it's that sounds fucking boring. Why would I ever want to watch a documentary about fonts? And then you watch it, and it's enthralling. It's something we so often take for granted, and they're interviewing these guys who have made it their lives to basically do this font making and stuff like that. They interview a lot of guys who had to do it by hand and all of this stuff, and then it interviews a lot of people today who are doing it on their laptops, and how they talk about how even though computers and everything makes it faster and you can get everything out there, doesn't necessarily mean it's a better idea. And it's a really interesting documentary that explores something I've never thought about. I've never thought about it, never thought I would care. I would say that if you're really into graphic design and if this sounds interesting, I think you should check it out. However, I was really fascinated by it, but I could definitely see people not being super into it because it's such a specific subject for a film. But it's great. It's on Watch Instantly. I recommend this film. I give it a 3 out of 5. Helvetica. I never would have guessed a documentary about font would be so fascinating. So check it out. If you guys are liking my reviews, make sure and subscribe. Give me some star ratings. I love getting ratings. If you have any films you'd like to see me review, leave them in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow.